UFC 322 is around the corner, and Islam Makhachev is turning the heat up and raising the anticipation of this clash. The former lightweight champ is all set to make his welterweight debut and get his second UFC belt. Islam Makhachev doesn't think Jack Della Maddalena has exceptional power, explaining that he isn't a particularly big fighter for the division. He compares Jack to welterweights like Belal Muhammad and Kamaru Usman, who he feels possess real knockout strength. Makhachev adds that he doesn't believe Jack has more power than him.
What about the power? I mean, I talked about like the ability to wrestle guys and trying to get them down. The punching power at 170.
He's not like some guy who have like crazy power, like, and he not so big in this division, like for example, Bilal, he have like power, like Kamaru Usman, this guy has like good power, but I don't think like Jack have some more than me,
Islam Makhachev even admitted that Jack Della Maddalenas's wrestling isn't great, but he praised him for being skilled and composed on the ground. He said Jack has very good boxing, strong striking, and knows how to defend, escape, and get back up when taken down. Makhachev added that even though Jack's wrestling may not be the best, his overall ground defense and striking make him one of the best fighters in the world and a deserving world champion.
Honestly, yeah, I watch all his fights. He's good. Striking is good. His boxing is very good, and his wrestling not so good, but he good in the ground. He know how to defend, how to escape, how to get up. He have good skills in the ground also, but I saw his wrestling just not good, but he know how to defend, and like his striking really good. That's why he's one of the best in the world, and he's the world champion right now.
Islam Makhachev explained that many of Jack Della Maddalena's opponents have managed to take him down, showing that his wrestling isn't very strong. However, he pointed out that Jack stays calm on the ground, doesn't panic, and avoids making mistakes. Makhachev noted that even without great wrestling, Jack knows how to defend, escape, and recover, which helps him stay out of trouble during grappling exchanges.
What about his wrestling isn't good? What is he doing wrong?
I saw his defense, a lot of guys take him down. Like I think all his opponents in UFC take him down, but he feel good in the ground. When somebody take him down, he not panic, like try to do some mistake, and he know how to defend.
Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev rejects comparisons with Khabib Nurmagomedov, explaining that Khabib isn't interested in competition and only wants to help others succeed. He says they never discuss records or title defenses, calling such comparisons pointless because Khabib is like a brother to him. Makhachev adds that Khabib still sacrifices time away from his family to coach and develop the next generation of champions.
You are trying to accomplish something that Khabib never did. And I know that like for you guys, maybe you don't talk about that, but for us, we're always like, it's almost kind of been like you followed so perfectly in his footsteps and done everything that he did. Like, is there something kind of cool about doing something that he
I don't know.
never did?
This question is like, some of them ask me, you want to defend the belt more than Khabib? We never talk about this, and
yeah.
It's like, for me, it's the stupid questions, because he's my brother. If he don't want to I beat his record, he never helped me, but he's still, I told you, he's still like now 2 months without family. He support all team.
Islam Makhachev explains that Khabib's motivation comes from wanting to change lives, saying that when one fighter becomes a champion, it benefits everyone around him. Khabib told him his dream is to help people because supporting one athlete also helps their family, friends, and community. Makhachev says that's why he dislikes questions about breaking Khabib's record or comparing their careers, since Khabib's true goal has always been helping others, not competing with them.
These guys just dream for him to make the new champions in our gym, because one of the day he told me, because why he did this, not just for one guy, if someone become champion, he changed life for many people, for his family, for his brother, sister, friends, it's, and he told me, it's like dream for me to help people. And what I can do right now, I'm not fighting, but I have to help people. When I help someone, it's not mean I just help him. I can help his family, his friends, who people who around him, you know. And that's why he is us right now. And I told you, it's like not question which one I want to answer, like I beat Khabib record or something like this, you know.
On the other hand, Kamaru Usman finds the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena fascinating. He notes that Jack is improving rapidly while Islam's skill set is already elite. Usman explains that many fans initially viewed the fight as one-sided, but he now believes it will be much closer than people expect. Kamaru Usman said, "It's a very, very intriguing fight. JDM is growing at a rapid pace, and we all know what Islam possesses and how good Islam is. So I'm intrigued about that fight. I don't think, because I feel like some people initially, when that fight was being announced, were like, oh, Islam's gonna do this, Islam's gonna take care of him, or JDM's too big. I think now we're starting to understand that that fight's going to be a lot closer than we think." However, Usman Nurmagomedov predicts that Islam Makhachev will bring Jack Della Maddalena to the ground, drain his energy, and control the fight from the top. He notes that everyone is aware of Islam's approach, but still nobody can prevent it. Usman mentions that the whole team feels motivated watching Islam chase the goal of becoming a two-division champion, a milestone their gym has yet to reach.
How do you think Islam does against JDM?
You're gonna take him down, make him tired, hold him there, and after that, if you can finish him, if you can, by decision, you have to win. All people know what we're gonna do, but they can do nothing with that. And we're so excited for him because of two-time champion. In our gym, we don't have this guy, but Islam gonna be, inshallah.
Belal Muhammad also believes Islam Makhachev has the ability to control and finish Jack Della Maddalena on the ground. He points out that fighters who haven't faced Dagestani wrestling before often struggle with its relentless pace and pressure. Belal adds that Islam's grappling is on another level compared to most fighters, while Jack still leaves openings once the fight goes to the mat.
I mean, I think my mindset, I think Islam can finish him on the ground for sure. And especially it's like we saw it with DDP. If you never felt one of those Dagestani style wrestlers, like you don't want it to be your first time in the cage feeling it. And Islam and them, they have a different feel. They have a different type of grappling. So for JDM, even in our fight, he makes mistakes on the ground. He does a lot of stuff.
Belal Muhammad predicts an easy win for Islam Makhachev if the fight goes to the ground. He believes Jack Della Maddalena's scrambling won't work against Islam's control and submission skills, saying the real challenge will be getting the fight to the mat against Jack's striking.
If I'm looking at that fight, stylistically, I think if Islam gets to the ground, it's going to be an easy night. Islam's ground game is so good. I think JDM makes a lot of mistakes on the ground. With his scrambling, he's very good at it, but I think Islam doesn't let you scramble. So if you scramble, he'll good at locking in arm triangles, but you still got to get it to the ground first, right? It's going to be good to see how he is on the feet with JDM, who's kind of tricky, but I think if Islam gets to the ground, Islam will get his hand raised.
Dan Hardy praises Jack Della Maddalena's boxing, saying he has been impressed with his striking for years and once called him the best boxer in MMA. However, Hardy believes Islam Makhachev is moving up to welterweight at the perfect time. He explains that many fighters stay too long in a lower division and limit their physical growth, but Islam is now allowing his body to develop fully, which will make him stronger and more dangerous at 170 pounds.
Man, I've been high on JDM for a long time. You know, I remember doing interviews back when Ngannou was crossing over to boxing, and people were talking about who's got the best hands in MMA, and I was saying JDM at the time. I mean, his boxing's always impressed me. But at this point, I feel like Islam's moving up a weight class at the right time. You know, there are a lot of fighters that stay in a weight class for too long, and they seem to kind of stifle their physical growth. I don't think Islam can stay healthy and stay in that lightweight division for any longer, and I think right now he's allowed himself to move into a division where his body's just going to grow into it. He's going to be incredibly powerful.
Dan Hardy believes Islam Makhachev's complete skill set poses problems for any opponent. He predicts the striking exchanges will be competitive, with Islam holding a slight edge through his kicks. Hardy expects Makhachev's wrestling and grappling to take over as the fight progresses, leading to a submission victory in the later rounds.
And I just think Islam's all-round game is so problematic for any single fighter. I see him taking it, and I can see him probably a 50-50 striking exchange, Makhachev winning with a kicking advantage, but then his grappling and his wrestling taking over.
Jason Mayhem Miller shares his thoughts on Islam Makhachev moving up to fight Jack Della Maddalena, calling it an intriguing and high-stakes matchup. He jokes that he usually picks fighters whose names end in -V, but says this fight feels unique. Miller notes that Jack looks huge for the division, while Islam often appears depleted from cutting weight. He thinks moving up could make Islam appear smaller, depending on how he adjusts his frame, but believes his wrestling will still be the deciding factor.
This is going to be such an exciting fight, so who do you think takes that fight?
Usually, my money is on the guy with the V at the end of his last name. And this might be a little different because we saw, Jack is a big boy, like a hoss, really, for that weight class. I was like, oh my goodness, he looked like a battle toad. Like you just saw such a big man for that weight class. And Khamzat, he looks like he sucks to get down to that weight, so going up, it's gonna be like, he'll be a bit smaller depending upon how he puts the weight and whatever, and if there's been enough time between, but coming down to skill-wise, it looks like the wrestling will be the big factor.
Jason Mayhem Miller praises Jack Della Madalena's defensive wrestling in his last fight, saying he managed the takedown attempts effectively, even if they weren't overly advanced. He sees that performance as a useful tune-up ahead of the matchup with Islam Makhachev. Miller points out that MMA gives fighters constant room for growth and believes Jack could make major improvements in his wrestling with focused preparation, potentially entering the fight as a sharper and more complete version of himself.
Jack had excellent counter wrestling in that last match, but the takedowns were more straightforward. That was like kind of a tune-up for this fight. Now, look, the beauty of this sport is Jack can figure out some more details that he didn't have in that last fight, and even improve his wrestling by leaps and bounds, depending on who he trains with, and really be a new fighter by the time he gets there.
Jason Miller also predicts the fight will turn into a test of endurance, with Islam Makhachev's grinding style setting the pace. He expects it to begin with striking before shifting toward wrestling exchanges. Miller says Jack Della Maddalena needs to make every moment physically draining and look for knockout chances early in each round. He calls it a close matchup and admits he hasn't decided who he thinks will win.
Likelihood is that the takedowns will become a factor, and then it'll be a conditioning test. Let's see who and the methodology of the Russians, I guess you'll call them, is that the grind is completely embraced. That's where they thrive. So it will be early on sort of kickboxing contest with a couple of takedown attempts thrown in and locking up against the cage, and then it will probably turn into, okay, now I really take a chance and wrestle him to the ground. Jack has to make every one of those a grisly grind, and then at the beginning of each round, let's go kickboxing full out. Try to get him, try to knock this man out. It's a toss-up. I haven't really decided on who wins that fight. I need to do a little more research.
Chris Duncan predicts that Jack Della Maddalena will defeat Islam Makhachev. The Scottish lightweight acknowledges that Islam might have a stronger chin at welterweight and praises his grappling ability, but admits the fight is hard to call because MMA is always unpredictable.
And you're a big 155er, so you think Islam translates up to welterweight, or you think that's not going to work out against JDM?
No, I think JDM is going to beat him, to be honest. Obviously, Islam will have a little bit more of a chin at that weight class. But I don't know, man. The grappling of Islam is good. He's not Bilal Muhammad. He's tough. It's tough, man. It's tough. Especially, there's so many factors. That's why the betting odds are always so good on MMA, because you just don't know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Israel Adesanya predicts that Jack Della Maddalena will finish Islam Makhachev, saying Islam won't be able to handle Jack's scrambles or recoveries once he gets back to his feet. He expresses complete confidence in Jack's ability to get the job done and says he plans to attend the fight in person, no matter where it takes place. Israel Adesanya said, "I think Islam is not going to be able to handle him with scrambles or when he gets back up. I really think Jack is going to get him, and I can't wait till that happens. And wherever it is, I'm gonna be there. However, Johnny Walker picks Islam Makhachev to win, praising his technique and consistency throughout his career. He admits moving up in weight brings new challenges like power and size differences, but remains confident that Islam can handle the test and perform well in the new division.
Who do you favor in that fight?
I think Islam. Yeah. He's been a really tough fight and incredible technique for the last all his career, and I believe he still can get it. But as I said, it's a new division, new body type, new power, everything. He's moving up. It's a big testing for him, but I believe he can do good too.
Colby Covington finds Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena an intriguing matchup and looks forward to seeing how the size difference plays out. He acknowledges that Islam will be the smaller fighter, but praises his well-rounded skill set. Covington notes that if Islam secures takedowns and maintains control, he can win, though JDM's striking makes the fight unpredictable. He ultimately sides with Islam, citing the betting odds and JDM's weaker takedown defense.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
That wraps up everything from today's video. Let us know your thoughts and predictions on this matchup in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates on this thrilling showdown.